Hello, everybody. Welcome to the social media blab. This what are we doing today? I'm looking at comments. So easily distracted. Today, I'm looking at comments because today is all about Q&A. So this could be the shortest blab we ever do, or the longest blab we ever do, depending on what questions that we have.
Or we could actually end on time.
What a concept. We could do that too.
Yeah.
So, but right now there's, basically today, the point of today was, was that, didn't have a specific topic. We've been covering Twitter. We've covered Instagram. We covered Facebook ads. We covered Hootsuite. Last week, we talked about how using different platforms to use as a feedback tool. Mm-hmm. So thought today we just do a basic Q&A and see if any Q's start. And yeah, Steve, perfectly, because Steve's middle name starts with Q. So that is why he's here. So, and also we just ask questions of each other. What's
introductions?
That? Yes. Oh, introductions. Why don't you go ahead and start because I'm drinking coffee.
Okay. Ed, this is Ed. He's drinking coffee. Ed works for Experiential Systems and is known around the web as Experiential Ed. No E. He is a wonderful person who likes Muppets.
Okay.
He's also a challenge course professional and trainer and all sorts of other good stuff, and author of the book Tweak It.
Wow, I should let you introduce me each week. That's awesome.
Sorry.
I'd listen to
you meant introduce myself.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry.
Well, this is Mandy Stewart. She is the catalyst for Experiential Resources Incorporated. Let's see. She is, to say that she is a challenge course professional, I don't think does her justice. She is Tweak It on Kindle too. No, Tweak It is not on Kindle. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. So that's on my list. And I totally will get interrupted every time by comments. Anyways, you are the author of so much more, because basically if it comes out from ACCT, I believe that if it goes to the proper channels, you have helped to author it, and the author of such great pieces as Peace Out, Mandy.
Yes, yes, that was me. I will take credit for that one. Yes.
Yep. Yep. So what is, and Steve, jump in if you have any questions. My vision challenge dictates I use an e-reader. Cool. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So I don't know, Steve, if you have any specific questions about social media in general. Generally our blabs are about just introductory stuff, social media and social media marketing. So before we can jump in with looking at all sorts of analytics and knowing what time of day to post and who our audience and all this other stuff is, it helps to understand platforms that we want to utilize. So that's where we start. And then we kind of go from there, that we can answer questions and talk about some of those other deeper social media things, but also want to have an outlet for people that have those basic questions too. So feel free to chime in with the /Q, or just type it in, or jump into the seat, whatever works for you. And also if you don't have any pressing questions either, I feel if you just share with me, and other new here will generate questions. Yep, that sounds cool. True. Mandy,
so we get to maybe even start having a conversation just between you and me about whatever we want to talk about, which is a fun option. Right?
Yeah.
And then see what happens. So what's going on in your social media world?
I am trying to, so there are 3 new social media platforms that I'm trying to use. One is, I'll talk about first, that is not associated with the challenge course world, but it's a fun social media app that I'm on, is called Grow It. Mm-hmm. Which to me, I would love to see if there's a way that we could ever take a, I'm trying to pull up the app right here. It's just called
I am going to look now.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw you posted something on Twitter, and you said, I just posted this picture on Grow It, at Grow It, and with some hashtags, and there was no picture.
Really?
Yes. And I didn't know.
I have to go back and look. So
I didn't know if that was a ploy to get us to go over to Grow It, or if it was an actual, there's supposed to be pictures.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm doing, they are a relatively new app. This app came out a year ago, but they've just made it as gamification. So if I go to my profile here, what you will see, if I can get the glare, is, you know, your basic. I've uploaded 9 plants to my network.
I got it.
How many people I'm following, how many people are following me, and my grow level, which is 28. Now, where the gamification comes in this is every time I do something, I get a new flower. Okay. And then at the bottom, it tells me what I need to do. So there's different things I can do. So I can share, I can follow somebody, somebody follows me, I can add a plant, I can comment on somebody. So one of the things that I really enjoy about this is the gamification aspect of it. Both Gina and I signed on the same day. She is now at level 50. What are you at? 58. And I'm at 28. So I'm getting ready to give up on that competition. But I think it's a cool app. Now, what you're seeing is good feedback, and I'm trying to tweet and direct message the application developers, because this rollout just happened about 2 weeks ago at the Chicago Flower and Garden Show, I believe, and so there's a lot of things that are buggy. So I can click share and tweet it out.
Gardens.
I'm using that. I'm going to let them know whatever I do. I'm going to tell them I found another bug in their garden.
Yeah.
So there's still more stuff that, so when you tweet it, like their custom tweet is too many characters and they're working on it. So I've been trying to edit the tweet down, but that's good for me to know if the picture is not, because I'm trying to do it natively from their platform. So that's the one that I'm using. The other ones that we have kind of touched on the past couple of weeks that I see more for potentially for our industry is Snapchat and Anchor.
I'm still not sold on Snapchat.
I'm either.
And it's just, for me, you know, honestly, it's the time factor. It's the time factor. To be able to have that solid presence, you really need to have that constantly going. And I don't know that most of us have the bandwidth to do that unless we're pulling from multiple people and giving them access to that Snapchat account. And I just, it's not feeling like it's a good fit for most of our industry. I can see like a few places where it would fit.
So the places, again, I go back to who's on Snapchat, and what this is my big thing is the culture of it. And I'm still not 100% sure on how to use Snapchat myself correctly. Now I say that with air quotes because I can use it any way I want, right?
Yes.
I take a picture, I do a video, I put a sticker on it, I put a emoji on it, I follow who I want, and I can do anything I want with it. But the other side of it is this is a platform that's been around for what, 4 years now? Almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And social media marketers are globbing onto it now. And the best advice I got from it was do not start posting as a business until you completely understand this platform, because everybody's jumping on it because of the whole millennial potential demographic, right?
Yes.
And so when I think about with what we do is, for example, with training, like 4 years ago, I was being asked if I was on Facebook by my trainees. Then it turned into, are you on Instagram? My guess is that this year I will have more people in my, you know, because I'm training people that are in their early 20s are going to ask me if I'm on Snapchat. And I don't know that I want to personally, I mean, I'm really trying with a few friends to be on Snapchat, and
you know what?
It's too much time consuming if you're creative and it just flows out. But how I'm using it is how I'm going to use Instagram anyways.
Exactly.
And to me, that feels like a waste of time.
And well, the other thing though is the benefit of focusing on Instagram versus Snapchat is Instagram is so Snapchat.
Snaptrap.
Instagram is much better integrated into other social media, you know, so you can be more versatile with what you're doing with Instagram and make that go, you know, bigger, broader, deeper with your Instagram time versus your Snapchat time.
And that's also cultural, because I did try when I was trying to snap for ACCT, and I did a story on my way out. I was trying to you can save each snap to your phone. And then I was re-uploading it to Twitter. But one of the things that I found out is that's a faux pas. So that's one of those crossover platforms you hear me all the time say, don't post your Facebook on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
If I wanted to follow you on Facebook, I'd be on Facebook, not Twitter. Well, this seems to be the same. Where on Instagram, I'm using if this and that to push my Instagram picture now natively. That seems to be okay. And I get likes on those pictures and interaction more so than if I just do the push, with the link from Instagram. People can see the snap has a specific look. And if they're on Snapchat, it's almost like I'm pushing people away.
Yeah.
I'm pushing my Twitter audience away. Because my Twitter audience does not want to see me on Snapchat. And there are different platforms. I think Pinterest is the same thing. I don't want to see my Facebook feed with a lot of, here's a pin I just pinned on Pinterest. I will follow you on Pinterest. And as a matter of fact, I already am. So don't waste my time on Facebook because now I'm not interacting with you and my edge rank went down and I'm not going to see you post as much.
Yeah.
But so Snapchat, and also I'm still trying to find some interesting people to follow on Snapchat. Question.
Yay. Thanks,
Do you
Steve.
agree? LinkedIn still mugshots will evolve to a short video option for those posing as a candidate.
I agree that there will be a video option. And the reason that I think that this is true is because if you have watched the evolution of LinkedIn and the different features that they've integrated, they have absolutely followed the other social media platforms and what they're doing. And they're saying, oh, well, people think this is fun or people like this. So we're going to start doing that. And they're a little bit laggy. They're definitely not the trendsetters in this area as far as I can see. But I mean, given the purpose of LinkedIn versus the purpose of things like Facebook, that makes sense. You're just going to have a whole lot more users on Facebook to drive that, okay, this is what we like. And it's smart for LinkedIn to sit back and say, okay, this is working. People like this. Will it fit with us? And do it. But I can definitely see those video profiles hopping over there for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, no, thank you. Great. Glad you're here. Please jump in with any questions. We were just blabbing about our conversation with Snapchat, and Steve just asked a real question, so we're going over to that. I think that part of it is you have to look at trends in social media, and one of the big trends that we have seen over the years is that, and it's funny on which platform does the trend start. So I think that Facebook originally started the trend to move away from text to posts. To photos. And then we were told that if we did photos, and we saw when we did photos on Facebook like two and a half years ago, we got more interaction because Facebook was putting those in front of other people.
Yeah.
Then Twitter started with, and then Instagram started getting bigger. And then videos, Instagram started allowing videos. So then Facebook started doing videos. Twitter started making videos easier. I think that Twitter is still behind the times on video because of the 30-second cap limit. And also so with that 30 seconds, it's harder for us. It's that creativity thing we were talking about with Snapchat, where we have to be able to get our message in 30 seconds. And sometimes it's the same thing as 140 characters, right? Mm-hmm. That's why I don't tweet a lot, because sometimes I can't get my point across in 140 characters. Can I do a video in 30 seconds, which for me is personally a great practice tool, and I try and use that. So if you look at that trend, yes, I think that LinkedIn, I'm surprised LinkedIn is not doing more with videos. And they will.
They will. They're just they're slow, and that might be a deliberate choice. As far as development and things like that. But they're slower to adapt than other platforms, I've noticed, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I've just noticed that that's their timing.
And what is the point of LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a networking social platform. So us being able to share cat videos is not as high. And I say that completely tongue in cheek, meaning that as networkers, trying to network with other professionals, that video may not have been higher on a priority list for even us as users on LinkedIn. But seeing that we engage more with videos, now LinkedIn is saying, well, maybe this is something that we should have there. And this is just, I should say that LinkedIn is not on by any means my top 3 social networks I know the most about. I shy away from it. So I'm just going with trends that I see in the field and from what I hear on the podcast and that I'm listening to. But my last point with trends is that I am curious to see if LinkedIn is going to adopt some type of streaming. If you look at Meerkat, Periscope, Blab, and what they did social platforms over the past year and how Twitter owns Periscope, and that's how you get your longer than 30-second video. You don't have to open that third-party application. Now Facebook is doing Facebook Live. To me, I think that those things are being done because of the success of those first three, the Blab, Meerkat, and Periscope over the past year. So to me, what I'm curious to see is that from LinkedIn is if LinkedIn would allow for a streaming platform to do things like webinars and live conference type, for me to be able to go on there and do a workshop type thing, that is huge as somebody trying to network themselves. And again, looking at that, you're doing business to business and, trying to find somebody to hire or trying to hire somebody. To see that person being able to interact with a large group, to me, that is what I'd love to see on LinkedIn, and very curious to see if that's what the developers are doing, is to find a way to do LinkedIn Live, to find a way to basically do webinars.
I would say that before they go there, because that well, I'll get that in a minute. But I could see them allowing those attached to your profile, your 30-second elevator speech video. That I could see being the next LinkedIn thing, really. And as far as the webinars and things like that, I would say that I could see LinkedIn partnering with a well-known service provider for those sorts of things. I could see them partnering with that to integrate within LinkedIn, but I cannot right now see LinkedIn developing that out themselves. Which I don't think would be the smart thing to do anyway, given how many great services there are out there. It makes sense to collaborate on that.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure which came first. I don't know if Periscope was always owned by Twitter and they didn't know what to do with it. My understanding is that Periscope was originally, like so many others, just a startup app out there, and Twitter saw it and snatched it up. So maybe that's the case with this, is that I know that again, going back to talking apps, there's a new app I just loaded. I'm looking for the name of it here. It's called Nomadcast, and I'll put that in there. It's right now on iOS and iOS only. They're saying that they're going to release for Android. But what this allows me to do is a lot like Periscope and Meerkat. It's a streaming platform, but as soon as I start the stream, I can say, share this stream live to Facebook, share this stream live to Twitter. And then it goes up as a post on Facebook, like Facebook Live, and anybody that comments on that post as it's playing shows up on my screen like Periscope, and it has their Facebook profile and it's the question they ask. Same thing on Twitter. It's on as a live tweet. If anybody replies to that tweet, it shows up like on Periscope as a question, and then I can interact. My problem I have with all of these, and this is just me personally, is that I like Blab. I like the real-time live interaction. I would not do well on Blab if you weren't sitting in that seat and nobody else was there. Because to me, it's conversational. And I have a hard time responding to comments as they float up. And you see me on Blab all the time.
You do not have a hard time responding to comments. You have a hard time not responding to comments.
I have a hard time staying focused on the point I'm making, and then going back to it and staying on track.
Okay.
And in a conversation
that I will give you.
Like, for example, like right now, I know there's a new question up. I'm trying not to look at it so that I can finish this, and then we can, like a real conversation, transition over, which helps with the real person here. On those others, just like we've seen today, I'll ask a question, somebody doesn't answer, I start saying something. No, I'm not going to forgive the interruption because I want
the interruption.
And I just did it again, but I need to make it conversational like that.
All right. The comments, Ed.
and also what I find is that there is a lag on those comments, because somebody types it into Facebook, then it has to go to the server, then it has to go to me, and it has to go out, and there can be a 10-second
bounce off the moon.
And here, at least, if I'm like right now, I can now take a break and look and scroll through all the comments. Those other one-to-many platforms, they're gone.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. I hadn't had enough comments on Nomad to see if I can scroll down and make sure I'm answering them all.
Yeah.
But that's part of the issue. But I do like that rather than Periscope, only Twitter, Facebook Live, only live, there's now this new option where I can do it, and it can go to both of those, and I can get feedback from both of those. So I'm going to be playing with that one soon. All right.
So many options.
Do you think there is an app for those qualified to train candidates how to perform little video, it plus or minus doing a video? I have a demeanor for radio, for example, but I like video too. I think there's an app for those qualified to train candidates. My brain's running a million miles an hour on this one, because I'm going with the second half of your question, which is about radio. Right before I discovered Blab, I had recorded my first podcast that was looking to do that, because I feel like there's an outlet for that. And the nice thing about Blab is best of both worlds. We get the MP3, and one of these days I'll actually post all these Blabs as podcasts. All right, but I'm missing the first part of the question. Do you think there's an app for those qualified to train candidates?
Oh, that's an app or op, because that's OPT.
I think, Steve, you meant app, correct? Just give us props if you meant app to one of us here. Or is opportunities for those qualified to train candidates how to perform a little video, right? Little video. Do you think there's an
LinkedIn
qualified to train
video?
Oh, LinkedIn. I'm sorry. Okay. Look, I'm the guy that when I do hashtags, I capitalize the individual words, because the whole abbreviation thing takes me too long to understand. That's not your fault, Steve, by any means. I'm not blaming you for that. I just don't look at it. All right. Do you think that there's an opportunity for those qualified to train candidates how to perform a LinkedIn video? Yes.
All that, and your answer is yes.
I'm trying to think of the explanation of what I'm trying to say with that. So number one, I think that look at what we're doing right now. The question that I asked is there an opportunity for those that know very little about social media for us to create some type of online talk show to be able to reach that audience? The answer is yes. Is it as successful as I would like it to be? Maybe not. No, I got it, Steve. But at the same time, the mere fact,
help Ed get there.
Yes, but the mere fact that Mandy joins me each week on this bonus, Alma has been here each week for the past 3 weeks, or watching the replays, and Steve, you're here. To me, that's an opportunity. It's worth it. Now, is there an opportunity to make millions of dollars off that? I have no idea. So I think that there are a lot of people out there that I look at what I've gone through. I may have some public speaking strengths. I know I have public speaking weaknesses. Whenever I watch these replays, I see them. At the same time, I think there are a lot of people that do not jump in that seat each week because they are too scared from a video point of view of being on camera. So I think that there is a great opportunity out there, especially if you have those skills to teach somebody on everything from here's the mechanics of how to record a video for LinkedIn. And I haven't even looked into it to know. So I'm a candidate for that right there, right? So do I need to record the video in the app? Can I record a video on my cell phone? Can I record on
beguiling? Well,
wow.
Thank you.
So is there
you get a
part of it
gold
is
star for that. Okay.
Yeah, I already gave him gold stars. What I'm saying is, where do you want that opportunity to be? What do you have the skills to do? Do you have the skills to sit there technically and walk people on how to create the video? Do you have the skills to teach people on how to film? Like one of the things that I'm watching my camera with that I'm failing miserably on today is the light is doing some funky things. Every time I put my hand up, now I'm not being able to do it. It's changing the light on my camera and changing me from pasty white to just not so pasty white. Okay.
Tan.
And if somebody
to Ed Tan.
Ed Tan.
Ed Tan. Yeah.
Right. So part of it is what part do you want to teach people, and then that third point is message. Somebody like me, I need to get my elevator speech down to 30 seconds. Oh, and that's one of the things I wanted to share here. Speaking of elevator speech, I want to throw this link in. I was on Camp Pros today, Summer Camp Pros today. And oh, now I don't see it. I'll look for it when we're done with this conversation. They had a little pin that said, "I don't use an elevator speech. I use a zipline speech,"
Nice.
which I thought that was freaking awesome. Right. Anyways, so for me, getting my message across in 30 seconds, yeah, there's a great opportunity to work with somebody like me, and I think that there's other people. It's 8 seconds.
We've gone to Vine speeches almost.
Well, but again, look at what we were talking
So
earlier.
hold on, that would be like
Okay, I'm done.
like a bull riding speech, really. If we're down to 8 seconds, right?
If I'm the one giving it, because I'm going to be all over the place.
That's the bull.
They have to hold on.
Not an elevator speech. It's a bull rider speech. All right, good to know.
Yes, it can be done. It can be done.
Okay, so what's your 8 seconds?
Yes.
8 second bull rider speech.
Me?
Yeah, do it. Bust it out
On
right
what?
now. I don't know. Something you.
Fine. All right, I'll practice. All right, tell me to go and then interrupt me when I'm done.
Hold on. I'm gonna make this official. I'm gonna get out my timer because this is important. All right.
Don't start yet. I'm reading comments. Truly benefit from what you are sharing to me. Message is the most important. Second to how it's being delivered. Yes, but the scenario, lightnings and other cosmetics are kind of non-relevant. Yeah, because nobody noticed that my light keeps changing.
I noticed, but
until I pointed it out.
It doesn't matter, you know.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's on certain platforms it does.
It's distracting, then it matters. Yeah.
Right. Look at that. Okay. I'm muting. I'm not watching a Periscope right now. I'm on Blab, muting the phone.
Okay. All right. Are you ready? I have my timer ready. Are you focused?
All right. I'm not focused.
Are you centered?
No, not at all. I'm on Blab and I'm drinking coffee. What do you mean centered?
Okay. I'm going to start.
All right.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, one of the new things that I am doing is a soft skills 3-day training at the end of I can't do that in 8 months. I can't even get my first 8 seconds. I can't even get it out of my mouth what it actually is.
That's fun.
I know. So okay, so here's the thing, Steve, do that blab. I'm showing up. Do the blab of how to create. Yeah, I did well. Really? Yeah. I almost got a half a second.
First 5.5 seconds, it was amazing.
No, but part of it, I know. Okay. So no, I didn't practice. Absolutely not. And this is one of the things. So 4 years ago, I had I hired Paul Cummings from
Strategic
CAA.
Adventures.
Strategic Adventures. It was CAA back when
I know, but
Strategic Adventures. And he helped me with these things. Yeah. And so one of the things is, and I can almost rattle that off, which was Balance Your Team is a professional organization that helps team members. I'm losing it, but it was the tagline on every email. It was 2 sentences, and that I could rattle off in 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't about the product. And that's what I did. The first mistake I made is I went to the product that I'm offering, not the service or what I stand for as a professional, right? So that to me is the first learning point from here is that, and Steve, again, jump in. Okay, now here is another place where another app I was going to talk about that this is what I'm using this app to practice is Anchor. Anchor. Which
I have neglected for at least 2 weeks, but I still love.
Because it was the shiny object in the room 2 weeks ago. And this is one of the things, again, is to me, when you mention recording, I don't know if you've heard from Anchor. If you're an iOS user, I definitely recommend getting on it. I just feel bad because only being an iOS user for the past 6 months, I know the pain of only having Android. Yes, in a bit, in some ways, I do suffer from fear of missing out, and I'm just proud because I know what FOMO is now because it took me a while to realize what everybody was talking about. But with Anchor,
because you were missing out at the time.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta find out what FOMO is. I'm missing out on something. What's FOMO? I don't want to even admit how long it took me to figure out what YOLO was.
Oh, that's okay. You could have missed that. It would have been fine.
I thought it was an abbreviation, and POTUS also.
Oh,
those
POTUS,
are the abbreviations. Well, yeah, because those were the abbreviations being kicked around. 2 years ago they started showing up, and I'm like, what the heck is POTUS?
POTUS has been around for more than 2 years.
Not in any of the. I don't remember watching CNN and them saying POTUS until like recently, but not like I watched CNN. All right. Okay. So, thank you, Steve. I take that as a compliment because that is. So this is, even though this is for my other blab, I have this in front of me at all times of why I blab. Okay. When we get together, we have a conference. At our conference, it's a larger group. It's a larger community that we're trying to bring to the small, intimate setting.
Yeah, and it's about to get smaller because I'm going to step out for like 10 seconds.
Okay, great. Alma, Steve, you are welcome to jump in. So what I was going to say, yeah, and see, I think that's part. I'm sorry, she's yelling. I'm hoping she's yelling at her dog and not her kid. I just muted her because I'm not going to be able to focus with her doing that. So here's what I like about Anchor and what I'm using. Anchor, if you don't know what it is, and this is also for the benefit of people watching on the replay, Anchor is an app that basically is social media voicemail is the 3-second way to describe it. Really? I didn't know that, Alma. All right. I'm not. Anyways, I'm staying focused here, and then I'll come back to the comments. So Anchor is basically you go in, and instead of typing or posting a video or streaming or anything like that, what you do is you post up to a 2-minute wave coffee. I had to mute you because I was laughing too hard. I'm hoping that was your dog and not one of your kids.
No, I've had sent my kid to the store for a half and half. And he was like,
"Oh, he was actually."
He was not.
I don't know. It as after I heard you got to be kidding. So, didn't get half and half. Okay, I should one day I'm going to learn to pause the recording when we talk about half and half. But who cares? You guys aren't here, so you get to enjoy the half and half stories. Did he not get you half and half?
Yeah, but he got fat-free half and half.
Oh,
I'm making it work. I'm making it work because I'm wearing a superhero shirt. And I have my I Only Date Superheroes mug. And that means that I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to drink the fat-free half and half. All
right. Just in case on the replay, you're on my on the other side there. Go that way so we can cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. And then just in case, because this is what it looks like to us right now.
This way.
Cheers.
Oh, hold on. My mug, right, no, my mug's off size. Okay.
I can move further back. You are screen capturing this, right?
Oh, I get it. I can't screen capture. Hold on. Wait, I'm going to do this with one hand. Okay. Cheers. Now we need to do it the other way again because I didn't screen capture that the first time.
Oh, but as long as it looks good to you, it's screen captured.
But if it's opposite, then it's opposite and it won't work.
Okay.
Oh, hold on, back.
Gotcha.
Cheers.
All right. Now back to I was explaining because I don't want to think about fat-free half and half. Anyways, so Anchor, you record a 2-minute wave, and then when somebody goes to your platform, rather than seeing something written out, they play the recording that you had, and then they can reply by recording a reply wave, and you can reply to the initial wave, or you can apply to an individual wave as it goes, and those are 1 minute long. So one of the things that I have found that they are helping me tremendously with is getting to the point a lot quicker.
Did Gina just say something?
There's all sorts of noises going around us.
Getting to the point a lot quicker.
Is he practicing harmonica today?
Dude. Hold on. I'm muting myself so I can talk to
just after he's done tuning, like have him play a tune for us in the background. Anyways, so that's what Anchor is. And I think that when we look at some of the stuff we were talking about with elevator speeches, zipline speeches, bull ride speech, however you want to do it, that is something that I could practice with to get to the point a lot quicker, because most of the waves I record on there, I I go over the 2-minute warning and then I have to re-record them anyways. So that's something that I'm practicing on an actual social media platform that's helping me be able to get to the point a little bit quicker. So, so that was the other app I wanted to talk about, and I'm not sure. And that's the question I was going to ask Mandy here now that she's coming back on. She can hear me. We just can't hear her.
Yeah, that's because I was busy using my mom voice, and you probably saw some mom looks. But what was the question you were going to ask me?
Well, the question I was going to ask, unless we have another one on the table here, is I'm just curious on the potential applications of using Anchor for, I hesitate to say social media marketing, but that's where we're going in the long run. And maybe the question before it is, like, what can we be doing as facilitators, operators, PVMs, to be using Anchor on a regular basis that's engaging? And to me, we know that is marketing because it's content marketing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what I'm looking at is looking at what we've discovered in Anchor over the past basically month, even though we've been on and off of it. Is there a way, number one, is our community on Anchor? Is a potential, same thing that I run into on Blab. We don't have a large community on Blab. But again, we get to repurpose this and we're both getting feedback that people are watching these things. So with that in mind, though, is right off the bat, any platform, and that's why we were talking about Snapchat earlier, is my trainees over the summer are on Snapchat. So should I be looking at Snapchat as a platform from content marketing of just being able to engage my potential clientele? So same thing with Anchor. Like one of the things I thought about doing is tag, every day doing a 2-minute explanation of a cooperative game.
Well, it's hard because you have to be where the people are. Like as wonderful and as fabulous as we are, I don't expect our Anchor posts to be the big draw that makes this entire community start coming over and utilizing this thing. Right. Because a lot of
just
people,
like
I know, like when I'm doing stuff and I'm clicking around on the interwebs, and I come across something and I go, oh, that looks interesting, and it wants me to sign up for another thing. It's like, a lot of times it's like, no, I'm signed up for all this stuff. Why are you asking me to join another thing? Which conversely, it's like, oh, another thing. But I think for most people, it's kind of like we want to be able to get the information and have the interactions on the platforms that we're comfortable with and enjoy using. So I think Anchor is great. So don't get me wrong. Like, I really enjoy Anchor. It's just the potential as a platform to reach this whole, section of people in our world, I think is limited just because it's another barrier, in getting them to join this app and integrate with this app. With that being said, I believe you can download your waves from Anchor, right?
And you can share them to Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah,
and you don't need the app to be able to play them. You need the app to be able to respond.
Yeah, so I could see potential there where Anchor's the home base. It's the platform. It's the tool. And it's the really good thing to help keep us in check with those 2-minute limits and 1-minute responses. But I really feel that right now we still need those other platforms to be able to distribute that, to be able to get the reach that we need. To be able to make it valuable.
Yeah, and Alma, in knowing your target population is then, in knowing who your target population is, then you make an educated guess and select the platform that fits both your goals and your market. One of the things that is causing me to take a pause is that, again, trying to get to the point here as quick as possible, is that Matt Marcus at that first social media marketing workshop I went to said, here's Pinterest. I have no idea how we can use it as marketers in the challenge course industry, but somebody's going to figure it out. And I have seen some people do it greatly, and I have a couple boards that are geared towards our industry too. But when he said that, I had already been on Pinterest for 6 months as a user, not thinking at all how I could use it as a marketer, not thinking, is my audience on Pinterest? I was just a user. And I think that, again, it is a reminder with Alma, what that you're saying is that taking that back seat and taking that step. And if I like Anchor, then I use Anchor and I use it personally for how I want to use it. Figure out, and there's a community on there and everything else. And then after I understand the ins and outs of the platform, I can then say, who is I've learned is my target audience on from the people that are naturally interacting with me is X. Then I can go in there and have that conversation, I think. Personal use versus biz application. Yeah. And sometimes those lines are blurred. I think that there are a lot of entrepreneurs I see constantly on Blab where to me, where it comes into is what this reflects is when you look at a business profile pic, is it an individual or is it a logo? And anybody that's an entrepreneur is being encouraged to use their personal picture as their profile pic for their business because we want to connect personally. Once you are a larger business, it's your logo. Because you are not an individual, you are a group of individuals, and you want to create those relationships individually. Just like if one of us was on here as our PVM, we'd probably have the PVM logo up there, right? And then we would be representing our companies, but we would be the face in that moment. Right? Just like when we do ACCT, we try, when we do the official ACCT Blab, we make sure that one of us that's in the Blab has the ACCT profile pick up there. And that's usually Melissa because that's her job, right? So, not to get too far off of it, but then to me, one of the things that gets blurred is like I see on Facebook, I've got those two Facebook profiles, right? And I have the business side of me, the entrepreneur side of me, and I've got and it's not even, part of it is ESI too, because it's people I want to connect to that I meet through ESI that I don't feel comfortable sharing where I went for dinner, but I am comfortable sharing, hey, here's another great link that I found online. That's part of the challenge course industry. Whereas I don't want to be flooding my friends and family that are from all walks of life with these things. So there is that fine line, and then there's a giant gray area in between, I think, for some of us.
Well, it's interesting because I was just talking to my brother last night about something sort of related to this. And it's like, especially with our industry, there's not, and we're getting more toward this, there's not necessarily like a whole lot of certifications and letters and things that you can carry with you that automatically set you up to say, okay, this is what you know, and this is what you do. In the way that there are a lot of other industries. And again, we're growing in that direction, but as far as like the full spectrum of the things that you need to know and do well to be able to be successful in this industry, that's a pretty darn big spectrum there. It's huge, right?
It is.
And so for us, what I found is, we're definitely creating our own personal brands as far as this is who I am as a professional within this industry. And so like if I want to go out and I want to get another job in the industry, which I just did. Hey, you're right. Yeah. Experiential resources. Then it's not necessarily so much about the letters after my name as it is what they already know about my name, or what somebody might say when they call and use my name and say, hey, tell me about this person. And so even within our own industry, I think we see a little bit of this, or a lot of it, of this personal branding and company branding crossover. And I think a really great example of that is like Chris Ortiz High Five, right? For a long time until Chris got a new wonderful opportunity. And unfortunately, the High Five community had to say goodbye to him, or at least officially within the business capacity, not forever. Chris Ortiz and High Five, their names were synonymous for a lot of people. And it's like now Chris is over, doing his other thing, and we
Mhm.
know that he carries all of that good, wonderful stuff with him. And, we know that all this stuff still exists at High Five because they're an amazing
Yep.
organization. So it's just interesting to see how those identities sort of meld together and what gets distributed once the people do go separate ways, because there's a lot of movement within the industry this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's, wow, we're totally off the original topic or where we started with this. Well, not really.
Not really though, because
hey, comment, sorry.
because it's all about we're still branding, we're still marketing. We might be marketing ourselves as practitioners. We might be marketing our business through the qualified practitioners that we have within our employment too. And social media has so much to do with this, and I don't think a lot of people realize it, because a lot of the companies that have the big draw, they also have the big personalities, right? Or that have that instant recognition of, oh yeah, so-and-so works there, or I went to this really great workshop with so-and-so, and that's where he or she was from. And we see a lot of this through social media because we are such a distance industry.
Yeah. And if one of the things that I think reinforces that point is if you look at the original, content marketing before social media,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I say Training Wheels, the first name that comes to mind is
Michelle Cummings.
Right. And what she did is what others have done today on social media, right? She was at every conference. Yeah. She would be there and she would present, here's the quote unquote free information, mm-hmm. which then created a sales funnel to come to the booth.
Yeah, because they have awesome stuff at Training Wheels.
And they do.
Yeah.
They do. And that's I'm just looking at Training Wheels stuff on my desk. That's
looking around like, hey, how much do I have?
Yeah. But I think that with what you're talking about, that's the same thing that's happening. And so in our industry, I mean, you can make the same argument with, Jennifer Stanchfield, right? Yeah. For years, she was synonymous with High Five, mm-hmm. right? But again, two separate entities, both trustworthy. And then now she's synonymous with her own company, Experiential Tools, mm-hmm. right? So I look at, some of what my wife has done with social media, same thing. And I think that's why I think that with all of social media, it doesn't matter if we're talking about the challenge course industry. We could be talking about the landscape industry. Mm-hmm. We could be talking about widgets. We could be talking about whatever. I think that some of it changes when you look at specifically what does your audience want to see in that. But the overall message in social media, the lessons feel very universal to me. Mm-hmm. As people ask me questions, it's like, all right, well, you're in a different industry. I don't work in that industry, but it's the same concept. And now going back to the comments, I feel this is Alma for my business. I feel as if until I can fully utilize the capabilities of the platform, then I can truly evaluate the impact it has in my biz. Then I decide if I stay or start on another app. Mm. And that's a big part of it with anything that we're doing. Trying to join you, Mac Pro defaults to FaceTime. Any ideas? Then rebooting the Mac. Go into. I'm not as good with Safari. Best bet is if you have.
I use Chrome. I use Chrome.
Chrome has separate settings that you can go in and check the camera and the other. To me, it's just under, I'm not in Chrome at the moment, but yeah, just go into settings, tell it what you want to use, then close Chrome, turn it back on, and you should be able to jump in with us. But I think that's how I got started on social media marketing, and I need to go back to that. I am now got my brain in two places with it. So when I see the shiny new object, I'm like, how can I use this? How am I going to use it to promote what I'm doing right now? And I can't, because this is what's ticking me off when I go onto Snapchat with some of the people I follow, when I go onto Anchor with some of the people I follow. Since it's a new app and we're all marketers, we're all saying direct marketing. By the way, come to my blab at this time. By the way, check out my new website here. Check out my Periscope. Do this, do that. And really, even though in some ways it is content marketing because it doesn't cost anything to do it, we are making a demand on a potential customer that currently is just a social connection. And I think that that is very off-putting because I for example, I always struggle that I should be promoting these blabs more on my Facebook page, but I don't want to be that guy. If I can truly, like I posted on Challenge Course Pros today, and I tried to post as something that I think this is something valuable to the group. Number one, here's our Facebook page. Number one, this is a great place for people to come. And I've had, I think, 2 people that have joined the group today, or one person I know that just joined the group today. And I think I got another notification since we started of somebody that wants to join that Facebook group.
Nice.
That doesn't cost money, and it's also on Facebook. And then I said, by the way, we have the Blab Q&A today. And so to me, I'm hoping that is not to, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's, hey, you know me, I'm a member of this group. Come and join us over here. We want to extend our network, and I want to give you something that's valuable. But I'm not getting that from my Anchor followers and the people I follow on Anchor. Especially when they're all the people that told me to be on Anchor in the first place. I'm already subscribed to you on Blab. I know you're trying to reach new people, but I look at the people that are subscribing to you, and we're already on Blab. Quit telling me about your Blabs every day, because that gets you the unfollow from me. And that's about drawing that
culture
of the platform too.
It's not just a culture of the platform. That's the same thing that we're talking about with the Facebook bouncing to Twitter. It's the same thing. It's a different platform. We don't need to have duplication across multiple platforms and then expect everybody to want to interact with us on these multiple platforms where they're getting the same exact stuff. I mean, nobody got time for that, right?
Dang nabbit, I just got distracted because I was looking for Pub Run to welcome them, and I had a story for them, and they just left, and I missed most of what you said. Sorry, I got distracted.
Okay, and like as far as the not being that person to keep nagging about hey, we're on Blab. That's one reason why I post the screenshots and say, hey, find the replay, because most of the screenshots they're fun, we're happy, we're smiley, and it's us hanging out, and
but that goes back to, oh dear God, I hope I didn't lose it. Where'd my Post-it go?
Oh no, where's the Post-it? I have a Post-it. I have a Post-it.
I put it back on my screen and it fell. Oh no, it's on my screen right in front of me. Okay,
if it was
but
a
what
snake,
you're talking about? No, it could have reached me. Right. Option number 3 on there. Fun. But this is where I go to is that as far as official capacity, for lack of a better word, you are a guest / co-host on the show, right? Yeah! You are not the one that's setting it up. You're not the one that's taking the time to set it up through your profile and all those things.
Get onto the thing, make the pretty screen things and images,
But that's the thing is when you share it, you are sharing it as a member of the community that has found something and trying to let other people know. And what Alma's saying is it depends on the group and how it's set up. I am hoping that Facebook group, I have been a member of it for 2 years now. I comment on other things. I reply on other things. I get a lot of value for it. And so I feel that the culture of it is people are wanting more resources. This is a resource. I'm sharing it. Where Summer Camp Pros, I'm new to it. I try and interact a little bit with it and on things that I can, but I don't feel like I have earned the right to post something like this on it. Once in a while, like once a month, to be able to post. And once we get the experiential Ed Blabs going, I'm definitely posting on there because it is a resource for that community.
We need to do that.
But I don't have the authority, and by authority meaning the rank, to say every week here's another time to come. The clout. Yeah, that's a much better word.
I like
right?
Word.
Because it's like, this guy and why is he telling us to do this? Now I see Camp Pros do it, but they have already established themselves, and I believe they're the ones that set up the Facebook group, if I'm not mistaken. Not 100% sure on that.
Hey, Steve's calling in.
All right. 241 days on Blab. Nice. All right. Oh, come on.
So
you can do it.
I have the very first important question for Steve once he makes it on.
Great. We may have to just do it again as a refresh, Steve. All right. I did the double authentication. It should be coming back in.
All right. See you in a sec, Alma.
All right. So just to finish that thought while we're trying to get Steve in here, I would go ahead and refresh at this point. It should have come up at this point, Steve. The idea of knowing, it goes back to the same point where it already started. You try this time because it didn't work for me. So let him in this time.
All right.
You got to know your audience, know what you're doing there, know the platform before you start inviting, especially in that whole invite across platform. To me, like I did it successfully, I think, on Camp Pros today because they asked for quotes for T-shirts for their camp staff. And I said, by the way, I have a Pinterest board that's all quotes. Here is my favorite one off of it. And here's a link to the board. Well, they asked me for a resource. This is where I keep the resource. I'm not trying to push my pin. I'm taking this opportunity to say, by the way, I'm over here. But you open the door. You ask the question. Oh, this is when Blab really frustrates me. I'm going to do something just in case. I'm going to turn off. I don't think it has anything to do with it, but I just turned my firewall off also, just in case it's something on my end. That's
you. It should be Blab.
Yeah. Interweb. Very tempted also to do at help to say we can't get you in. So Steve, here's my question. Have you been on other Blabs before? Because if the answer is yes, then I would like to call help because why can't you get in? You have. All right. I'm going to bite the bullet. And this is
Yay! We haven't done this on the show before. That's awesome.
All right.
This is new, everyone.
Right? It's at help, right?
Sure.
Struggling. Getting best.
Social media troubleshooting. What to do when things go wrong.
Okay, I am going to pause the recording for a little bit here while we're doing this part of it. Until I can start having organic conversations on any platform, let alone Anchor, and enjoying those conversations, I am not ready to be a social media marketer. That's the world according to Ed.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so 2 cents on that, and then we can switch over to Mr. Wonderful's question.
Bill, you want to go?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
let's get to Mr. Wonderful's question.
Yeah,
I think we've covered this.
Yeah, so the question was about long tail keyword searches. So I'm going to start with some things that I had basic definition as I understand it, and then please go and ask a more specific question with search engine optimization. So here's long tail in a nutshell, my understanding. And at some point, if you're like, nope, I know more than you, feel free to jump in. I don't claim to know everything about all of this stuff. Just want to spark the conversation. All right. So basically what long tail keyword search is going to is we have to look at Google. And here's the 2-minute intro into it, and I'll try and keep it shorter. In the past, remember when we all used to get on Google maybe 3 years ago, and if I was looking for pizza in Chicago, I would jump on and being a Google user for 6 years at that point, do things like pizza, Chicago, deep dish, and the word review, right? Because I knew that if I typed in way back then Chicago pizza, I would get a list of pizza joints. And what I was really looking for is that pizza review. And I had been trained by Google to do what a lot of people refer to as caveman searching, caveman speak. You know, pizza, Chicago, review, good, 60641 area, zip code, right? Well, what Google went out and did is they went, okay, that's all great for everybody that has been on the internet for 10 years, but we have a lot of people that are coming to the internet that are searching things like best pizza in Chicago. Best pizza in Chicago, or more specifically, best pizza in Chicago on the best pizza on the north side of Chicago, best deep dish pizza on the north side in Chicago. That is something that I'm going to search, and I'm not going to put quotes around it. That has become a long tail keyword search. So when I now design my website, from a website design point of view and SEO, I want to make sure that I'm including that phrase in different things that I'm posting on my Facebook page. For example, some of you saw the blab that Gina and I did, and I know Bill saw it, where we did that blab with La Villa locally. And in my opinion, best damn pizza in Chicago, right? So for them, what they want to do is make sure on their website someplace, they, number one, say voted best pizza in Chicago, north side of Chicago.
Best damn pizza.
Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
I am searching best damn pizza, but most people are not searching best
Okay,
damn
fair
pizza.
enough, fair enough.
But the other place that this comes in for our industry with the Zipline Canopy Tour is we want to get reviews.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll get back to that in a second. So now what La Villa wants to do is if I am a customer in there and they hear me say, this is the best pizza in Chicago, they're going to want to give me a link on their little postcard that's in their check, right? Mm-hmm. That says, please review us on Yelp. Please review us on whatever places, on whatever outlets, first and foremost, that they are curating.
Yes.
By curating, meaning that they are monitoring. So for the Zipline Canopy Tour industry, if you're on Yelp, if you're on TripAdvisor, again, it doesn't matter if you're a
big one.
It doesn't matter if you're a restaurant or a Zipline. This works on any of those. That if you are using these outlets. Right? If if that waitress sees me on Facebook while I'm there or on Twitter, are they trained to get me to put that up? Now, here, this goes back to long keyword SEO. Okay. Because now I posted on Twitter, best pizza in Chicago, and I tag La Villa in it. La Villa should have then their website attached to their Twitter profile. So when Google goes out and I search best pizza in Chicago and Google goes out and searches, they find first and foremost on their website, that is part of their description. They also find on their website a page that says reviews, where they copy and paste, or they have some type of, plugin that gets those reviews onto their website. Google also goes out and sees that I have posted this on TripAdvisor. Who did I post it to? La Villa. Does La Villa's website link to this TripAdvisor platform? Yes. So now my understanding of what Google is doing is saying that lavilla.com is getting a higher rank because what I am searching for as a natural human being having a conversation is on all of these websites that all point back to La Villa. So lavilla.com is going to be number one. And then La Villa's traveladvisor.com or Yelp profile is going to be number two if they are linking it to, because Google wants to provide good information. And we don't know what that SEO algorithm looks like, but what we're told as marketers when we follow is that is what Google's trying to do, is put in front of me as a user the best information. I still search like a caveman because I know most sites are not doing that. But at the same time, everybody I talk to that isn't doing this daily is going on and just saying best pizza in Chicago, best pizza in the north side.
But I've noticed I've changed up my own search habits here and there. If I'm not getting the results using caveman search that I want, then I'll go with the long searches too, because I think that it is shifting a little bit, and part of the world is sort of going with this, and a big chunk of the world still isn't there. But I've noticed that if I'm struggling to find exactly what I want, I will change my search habits, just as a knowledgeable Google user, as a Googler.
Right. So we are to be at their placing our virtual print. Translate.
Could you please restate the question?
Sorry.
Or jump into C, right? Yeah.
But and that's why we also chose La Villa to do that lab at. Because
it's the best damn pizza.
Well, but this is Gina and I are doing that blab. Make sure you're following us so you get notifications, because we have a coffee shop in the area. We're going to do it probably in about 3 weeks when we get back from being out of town. But we are trying to then I provide them with the video of the blab, the video of the Periscope, whatever I did. And we asked to speak to whoever is in charge of their social media marketing, so that if they have their own hashtag and they have other things, they can incorporate that into the media that we're providing them. We're not doing this because we want to be hired as their social media marketer. They already have one. We're doing it because we want to see our neighborhood thrive. And I'm on our neighborhood boards. And also I use this when I'm doing social media at ACCT. There is a slide that I have that is of the Old Irving Park Association Facebook group, where somebody goes on there and says, can somebody recommend a plumber to me? And there's 30 comments in there. And it's just a neighborhood in Chicago, kind of like a borough in New York kind of feel to it, right? That there might be 250 people in that group, but 30 people are commenting, and they are commenting on who the plumber they stand behind is.
Yes.
And if I'm a plumber in the neighborhood, whoops, a little too excited, smacking the microphone.
Plumbing's
Let's move
fun,
that away.
Gotta love it.
But if I'm a plumber in the neighborhood, I want to know where those outlets are, because one of the plumbers did jump in and say, thank you so much for the recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
I just created a coupon code that my secretary knows about. If you tell them coupon code Old Irving Park, you are going to get a 20% discount if you book in the next week. Mm-hmm. And it was during the rainy season because everybody was flooding and all these other things. And it was, so I moved a little bit away from that long. No, here's where long tail still works with that, because Google crawls Facebook. Even if this is a group, right?
Of course,
is still
Steve.
Seeing what people say. All right. Should I be including hashtags and everything? Blogs, Facebook, and Google? Short answer, yes. Long answer, not necessarily.
Yeah.
I got them.
Got them?
Okay. And it depends on what you are using the hashtags for. If you're using the hashtags for branding, cross-platform, we can do it, Steve. We're going to get you there.
You can do it.
It really frustrates me as a host. Anytime I'm watching this happen, I can water off the back and just go, hey, it's in beta. It's going to have good days. It's going to have bad days. And I get that. It just is so frustrating.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going through the FBI questionnaire up front.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he chooses what now that you choose all that stuff. But anyways, So with the hashtag, to me, number one is the good old, you can't own a hashtag, but you can dominate it.
Yes.
Okay. Bonnie Frank, Joel Comm, all those great people around here say that constantly. So part of that hashtag is you creating your image. Just like I am experiential ed on every platform I'm on. And for me, that's the branding more than hashtag XPEd. I would love to use it, but also I look at it as when I'm on Facebook and I'm posting in the groups I'm posting it on Facebook, they don't use hashtags. It's kind of a waste to me at that point, but where it can become a good thing. I'm sorry, Steve, I don't know what's going on. I really wish that we could get you in here. But with the reason I'm still using those hashtags is two reasons. Number one, knowing that on the platform I'm using a hashtag in, it is still searchable. Yes. So if I'm using my XPEd hashtag, I might have somebody go, oh, what's this? Click on it, and then they get to see all of the posts and all of the things that I've done on Facebook that have that XPEd hashtag on it.
Let me say that I've also used that to find old posts myself that I'm looking for that I posted. I'm like, gosh, what did I post about this? When did I post it? I know what hashtags I associate with different things, and so I use it as my own internal search tool to be able to reference back to things that I've done, because to try and scroll back through stuff is it's just a nightmare.
Plus, if you're using something like Hootsuite, you can set up a hashtag search on the different platforms to say, I want to see, and that's great. Like we did that with ACCT. Somebody was at the airport saying, I can't find the shuttle. And since I had an alert set up on that hashtag, granted it was through Twitter, getting to what you were saying is through, through Twitter. Yeah, it's going to be more natural to use. But again, Google uses it. And again, now Google, I'm going to do anything I can. You know, a lot of time people are like, why are you spending time posting on Google? Because of the long tail search tag, right? All of my posts are getting getting crawled. And where are they getting crawled back to? My Google profile, which has my website on it. It has my business websites on it. If I'm doing it for ESI, I post everything that I do for ESI on our Google page. I don't care if anybody's there, because the scariest thing you can do from time to time is go and look at your Facebook and your Google Pages page and see how many people have viewed it.
I know.
scary, scary thing.
And then you look at the page, if it's
And I wanna get over
ugly,
to
and go,
Alma's
oh my
question, but
gosh,
yeah.
that's 14,000 people that saw this ugly page, right?
I do that in social media. I
So-
take a business right now. Everybody, you can go away from the blab for a second. Go and find, because here's the other thing. People go, oh, I don't have a Google page set up yet. Do you have an address and a Google Places set up on Google Maps for your business?
Mhm.
If the answer is yes, you have a Google page set up.
Congratulations!
And when you click through to it, especially through, and it's changing a little. I got to do a little bit more research on it because it's not as easy to find. But again, it's owned by Google. So if you have that Google page set up, even if Google automatically set it up, and for example, if I want to search zipline installers in Chicago, Google goes over to the ESI Google page because that's in our description. Google wants to keep Google people at Google, right? And the scariest thing you can do is find that page and see that you have no profile picture set up, you have no cover photo set up, and you have 35,000 people that have visited that page. That's 35,000 people that you could have at least had a nice picture up to say you are a legitimate business before they click away immediately.
Logo.
Yeah,
Logo.
I was just going to say that. That's 35,000 people that saw it and left.
So the first place I would go
right,
is to, and I might have to pop over on this, is where do you go to see your Google page? The first thing I would do is Google search for you on a Google map if you don't think you have it set up. The next place to do is go into Google and do a search for your business and do the specific search. And I should do this right now as we're doing this in another window here. So I'm going to go over to google.com. Okay, I'm going to search. It's getting, sometimes it runs a little slow, even though I just upgraded my internet speed. So I'm going to experiential systems. All right. Okay, experiential systems. So over on my right side, when I search, you know what? I wish I could do this.
Pop it into the screen.
No, I've got the open seat where I can do this. I wish I could pop in the link to show everybody, but it doesn't work that well yet.
That stinks.
So when I search for my business, our business, Experiential Systems on Google, on the right-hand side of the page, it brings up my Google profile. Okay. I'm trying to search for what I want to do is search for a business that I don't think has a page set up through it. So right off the bat, here are my reviews. And this goes along. One of the things is as soon as I have you notice when you, on your Google Maps, it always brings up those reviews, right? Those reviews are attached to your Google page. Again, long key search. So let me try and go the other way. So I'm going to go to maps.google.com. And I'm going to search for experiential systems.
Yeah, and Chuck,
if you guys
right.
are doing
it has to be set up as a business to find your business, not your personal profile.
But see, this is the problem I had a year and a half ago with Google, is I didn't realize that we already had a Google Places set up. I set up a Google page. Google Places automatically shuffles all of those reviews and everything to that Google Places page. What I had to do was work with Google to combine the two together. Versus if I had known this up front, I would have just fed into my Google Places. And then there's a place where it says you can claim this business, and then you claim it as your Google page also. That's a whole blab in and of itself, and maybe I just found something for next time.
Now, so that's
okay.
It's not a difficult process. It's just a matter of getting.
Hey, I just jumped in for a minute. I got to run, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.
Thanks for
pleasure always.
Bill.
Great to see you, man.
You bet.
So going on this, and I'm sorry, we kind of got sidetracked. I do want to get back to your question. So as Chuck is asking, so do we need a business listing, not just our name? I would say yes, because number one, Google is the largest search engine. Number two, YouTube is the largest search engine. I haven't seen any stats, but for me as a user, I am always searching my maps. So when my mother-in-law is in town and says, I need to find a, the closest Nordstrom's, or I want to go shopping with you guys, I'm not searching Google for that. I am searching Google Maps for that. And I think that most savvy searchers, when they are searching for a business type, are going to go in there and search. Like when I'm looking for I have a mechanic I like, but when I was originally searching for them, I searched Google Maps for mechanic because I know that they're going to come up in the map. I'm going to see how far away they are. And yeah, I can speak to that too, Chuck. And I'm going to, as a savvy internet user, go through Google. Now, back to the unsavvy user, the more I can encourage the savvy user to use as a marketer to leave me reviews on my Google pages, and I can make sure those Google pages, those Google places are linked to my Google places and my Google business account, the better my search engine results are going to be for the non-savvy user, whether it's caveman speak or long key. I have 8 business on Google Places. They're not on the same place or states. This gets into a much more specific conversation that I think moves away from a lot of the general audience here that I'm more than happy to speak to. And I think Mandy can speak to this too, because you're in that situation, I believe, where you have the company and then you have the tours that are under the company.
You have other stuff going on.
Right.
So
yeah. So go ahead if you want to take this. I'm going to read Alma's question to be ready to answer.
Not to cut this off, but I'm going to have to go within like the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Ooh, same here.
I think
we found our next topic.
Yeah, we're there. we're there. This is what we need to do. Is we need to dig in Google Plus, Google Maps, Google Places, business profiles, and get a lot of good information out there about that.
All right, I'm going to stick around long enough to answer Alma's question here. And I think, so here's what's going on. I'm going to put this out there too for everybody is I am not able to do the Blab next Wednesday, it's looking like, and I know the following Wednesday. Mandy, can I pass the torch to you for one of those Wednesdays? And you want to talk to Google Places, Google Places and Google Pages?
Look at my calendar. So I am not entirely sure.
So here's what we're going to do is I'm going to say, Mandy, you can definitely create the event in our Facebook group. Anybody that's not part of our Facebook group, that's Social Media for Neanderthals. Again, I always feel the need to defend it. That was not my term, but I was there too. That
speciesist.
Yeah. So speciesist, nice. So the idea is we have a Facebook group to ask questions like this. That it's very hard to go on a Mike Selzner or a Joel Comm show and say, I need to understand, how do I set up my Facebook page?
Yes.
Should I set up a Facebook page? Because there are great resources for once you have all this set up. We want to be a resource for the people that are just starting off and going, holy crap, I had no idea. What do I need to look into? Where do I need to look?
Yes.
While everybody else is talking about how to look at the analytics of these pages.
Everybody else is operating under assumptions of base knowledge that does not exist in a lot of cases. So
you're welcome, Chuck. If you want to join that Facebook group, basically send me an email, @experiential.ed, and I'll put that in here. And with that email, because it's a closed private group, with that email, what I will do then is the only way I can invite you to the Facebook group is if you're friends with me on Facebook already, just private message me. You can be a friend with mine on Facebook, Experiential Ed. You can, as soon as I add you to the group, you can then not be friends with me. I won't take it personally. Or you can email me and I'll throw that email into the Facebook group. And then don't worry, I'm not adding that email to a email list or anything like that. The other way you can do it is make sure that you follow both Mandy and myself here on Blab, because one of us, and usually I make Mandy the co-host immediately, but that way if she sets up the Blab, then you'll get the notification that Mandy just set up the Blab. Follow us on Twitter, everywhere else, and that's where you can see it. So right now there may be a 2-week hiatus, or Mandy might be picking up the torch and going with it. And if you do that, and I am someplace where I can jump in, I will, but I just know that I'm potentially at a workshop next Wednesday and I'm on vacation the following week.
Sound like
if
good
I'm
things.
on vacation, I'm probably going to jump on because I enjoy doing this, right? and everybody can be jealous because Disney World would be in the background.
Nice.
And plus I want to see if I can blab from Disney. But I can't take on the responsibility because I can't promise that I can be able to do that. So there you go. That's where it is. Now let me answer. If you need to take off, Mandy, anybody else needs to, that's fine. I'm going to answer before we stop the recording. I'm going to answer Alma's last question here, which is scrolling up. If we as business owners are to incorporate every media tool that allows us to bring our name via comments, reviews, location, etc., then what would be the best platform? Yelp, Yellow Pages. What else is there that falls into that category?
I'm gonna go.
All right. See you next time, Mandy.
Later. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks, Mandy.
Bye. Cheers. Happy coffee.
Happy coffee. All right. So the way I would answer it is what the same thing you told me earlier, which I think you already are taking from this standpoint, is where's your audience and who's there. Now, taking a step back, what are the other Yellow Pages, Yelp? And if I remember correctly, your zipline canopy tour and other adventure type stuff like kayaking and things like that, correct? You can just give me props or type yep, whichever works easier for you, Alma. Right. So one of the things that I found with doing social media, at ACCT, TripAdvisor, Yelp are the two biggest ones, Yellow Pages. And here's the other thing that I found is that I search for our business and am surprised to see just like Google, as soon as there's enough information to say it's a place, there are a lot of places out there that have already generated you a profile. So start by searching your company. I'd put my company name in parentheses and I'd put the city and state, and you're going to see things like White Pages. And you're going to see other places that have already done a review for you. So those are the ones that I know that come up first. But also put your mindset in put yourself in the mindset of a tourist. Do zipline or adventure or whatever keyword that's about your product, about your service, and the town, the state, and the town. And again, we were talking a little bit about this last week when trying to search for ourselves on YouTube or Facebook to see what other people are saying. Same thing. Do the general search. So again, whatever the name of your tour is or your adventure park is, in quotes, or I'm sorry, whatever the service is. So Zipline Tour, Wisconsin, Idaho, whatever the state is. And what you're going to see is you are probably going to see, by being that general, is all the sites that people are, because here's what I found on TripAdvisor. I stayed at a hotel a year ago, and I was so pleased with the hotel. They even said, they had a little thing saying, give us a review on tripadvisor.com. I set up my TripAdvisor profile, and all I did was that one review. But one of the things that I found is, why did I want to share that as a user? Because I wanted to tell other people going through Chattanooga, Tennessee, that this Best Western goes above and beyond with service. I gave the story of a little snafu they had with our room, and the fact that one small issue, they went above and beyond. I didn't say in my review that they gave me a free room for the night because of what had happened. Because I know that some people are looking at reviews for that, right? I'm getting off topic, sorry. So what I'm going to say with that is, looking at it from my point of view, is I'm a traveler that wants to share with other travelers how awesome or how horrible this place is. So if I can find that as a traveler, hotels in Chattanooga, okay, zip lines in Tennessee, I'm going to see other reviews. And then if I'm the business, then that can tell me this is where I need to be, because this is already bringing up a search for this term. Okay. Kayaking adventures and river inspires apparel design. Okay. Right. So I am going to look, if I'm you, I'm going to say kayaking state. Okay. And I'm going to see what are the travel platforms that are out there, because Yellow Pages, that's not so much for us. Being a PVM and being a contractor, I did find that we were on Yellow Pages, on White Pages, on Angie's List by doing a very similar kind of search. So what you're looking for is, you're looking for all of the travel sites that travelers are commenting on about kayaking in your state. Then if you can go to, for some people, it's much bigger, like where Mandy is, right? Northwest. The Northwest region of the states, that's a huge multi-state region. But if you can go either broader or more specific, you're looking again for the travel sites, and then you're seeing change kayak to the name of your company, and you're going to start to see whether or not anybody is posting about your company. And that's where, like on Yelp, is the infamous one in the Chicago area with the restaurants I've worked with, is that they get bad reviews, and you want to be in control of that profile. One of the things that I think is a hilarious thing is, like today, I need to take my car in to get the EPA admissions testing before I renew my license, my driver, the registration for the car. I found the site and it has a question right there that says, do you want, it tells me the reviews for this business, and it's a state-owned business, right? It's Illinois EPA. It tells me the hours they're open. It tells me, because this has all been crowdsourced. Illinois, I believe, has not done this because it says, do you own this business? Would you like to manage this business? And I've done this for clients that haven't realized they have the place, and you click yes. And that's all it took for me to become the manager of this business. And I can sit there and I can interact with people. I can change the hours of the business, which scares the hell out of me personally. I just don't know how Google can do this. And I think it's because people don't know it. God forbid somebody took your business on one of these platforms, and it's so easy on Google to do it. All you have to do is click the little check mark that says, yes, I assert that I'm this. Here's my mailing address. Either mail me a postcard, or here's my phone number. Text me a confirmation, and I own that business on Google now, right? So again, you want to see, if I haven't set that up specifically for Yelp, but God forbid somebody else is already taking control of that, you want to make sure that you control the conversation, that you can get in there and have that conversation like we talked about last week, to be able to say, I'm so sorry your experience was not what you were looking for. Here's what we can do to rectify that, or contact me offline. But again, going back to your question, Alma, that's how I would search to find out what platforms I should be on and controlling that conversation. Okay. Great. Okay. So again, if we want to talk more about that, we are now at the hour and a half mark, over the hour and a half mark. So I have to get going here. But yeah, it's those, this is why I like the Q&A side of things. And by asking questions, we get into other things that I don't think that I've ever mentioned some of that on those other blabs. And anything we talked about today, for those who are watching the replay or those who that were here live, you've got my Twitter handle. You've got Twitter because you're here. For those of you that are watching live, if you're watching it someplace else, you've got my website. You've got Facebook. Send me a message of something you want to explore more in depth. I can do research on long tail keywords and talk about more specifically what we can do. We can have the hashtag conversation. We can, I'm hoping that Mandy can take some lead on getting us some more information on setting up those Google places, because I know it's changed in the past year since I set up the one for work. So thank you guys for the awesome questions today. Thank you for being here. Join our Facebook group. Send me an email to get in there, or friend me on Facebook, and we will see you. I will see you guys definitely. We'll set it up again in 3 weeks, if not sooner. And if you got a topic you want, for those of us that are just trying to learn what some of this stuff means, that's what we're here for. So have a great day. Have a great couple of weeks if I don't see you guys. And thank you so much for being part of this community. All right. See you soon.